Hey, high school literacy leaders, this is DLC Foster Yankee, and I would like to welcome you back to Curriculum Chats. In this video, I'll be discussing the fifth lesson, got the number right this time, in the third section of the Friday Night Lights unit. Here are the goals, TEKS, and ELPs for this lesson. Students will develop their section diagnostic responses into focused, structured, and coherent pieces of writing, including details, examples, and commentary. They'll write responses that demonstrate analysis of gender in high school athletics in Friday Night Lights, Isaacson's video, and Papano and McDonough's article. And they'll use text evidence from the section text as well as original commentary to support an analytic response about gender in high school athletics. The texts for this lesson are H.G. Bissinger's Friday Night Lights and the articles Women in Sports, Women and Men in Sports, Separate is Not Equal, and the ESPNW article/video Who Says Girls Can't Play Football. A lot of tools for this lesson. We have the Friday Night Lights Section 3 Diagnostic Checklist, the Culminating Task Progress Checker, Evaluating Ideas tool, Mentor Sentence Journal, and Vocabulary Journal. A couple of reference guides for avoiding plagiarism, claims, connecting ideas, conventions, integrating quotations, organization, and style. Right, our lesson overview is this is the section diagnostic. We will compose a response to the following questions for the section 3 diagnostic. How does Bissinger portray the impact of gender on the students and athletic culture of Permian High School? And how does Bissinger's perspective compare to those of the authors of the other section texts? So for activity 1, students work individually or with a partner to review the section 3 diagnostic checklist, as well as their completed evaluating ideas tool and the responses and notes kept in their learning logs. As they review these documents, they consider the claims about gender Bissinger makes in Friday Night Lights, Isaacson makes in the video Who Says Girls Can't Play Football, and Papano and McDonough make in the article Women and Men in Sports, Separate is Not Equal. Students ensure they have documented these claims clearly in order to use them in the response to the section diagnostic. They then review their vocabulary journal and identify a significant word or words they would like to use in their response to the section diagnostic. Finally, they review their mentor sentence journal and select at least one technique they plan to use when writing their response to the section diagnostic. Suggested supports, it would be as students work, the teacher should check on them individually and provide support and assurance as needed. The teacher might remind students that they have collected evidence and ideas related to this question in the previous lessons, and that this section diagnostic is directly related to the culminating task, and that this is their first chance to get their initial thoughts organized and synthesized. They will revisit their initial thoughts later in the unit. The teacher might also refer students to the avoiding plagiarism, integrating quotations, conventions, connecting ideas, claims, style, and or organization reference guides for additional support. For scaffolding and support, the teacher might allow students to work with a partner or a group to complete this introductory task. For activity 2, students draft their response to the section diagnostic prompt using their notes and the section 3 diagnostic checklist as a guide. Purpose, the section 3 diagnostic is more complex than the previous section diagnostics. First, students are required to analyze, compare, and synthesize from the 3 texts used in this section. They will then use an analysis of Friday Night Lights to compare how Bissinger addresses 2 themes, again comparing and synthesizing information, this time in a single text. Suggested supports, if students demonstrate difficulty with writing, the teacher should determine where they are struggling. Some students might benefit from using a tool when composing their response. Sentence frames can also be a useful scaffolding for all students, regardless of ability range, and are particularly useful for English learners. However, some students might find the organizer and sentence frames too restrictive. Allow students to use their own structure when writing their responses. The goal is for students to write responses that clearly express their ideas. In activity 3, students review, revise, and edit their paragraphs, paying attention to how clearly they have communicated their ideas. They use the Section 3 diagnostic checklist to guide their revision. Suggested supports. If students need support while they revise their work, the teacher might ask guiding questions based on the section diagnostic checklist, prompt students to use the appropriate reference guide, or model how to review and revise the support and development of ideas using a strong and weak model. In activity 4, students choose at least 3 of the questions on the screen and respond to them in their learning logs. Next, they review the culminating task progress tracker, thinking about all they have learned and done during this section of the unit and evaluate their own skills and knowledge to determine how prepared they are for the culminating task. To help students reflect on their completion of the section diagnostic, the teacher might facilitate a discussion about some or all of the guiding questions. If the teacher does opt to have a discussion, they might consider having students complete their reflections in their learning logs prior to the discussion. This allows them to review their notes and put them into practice next time. Students should be encouraged to make connections among what they have learned in this section, what they have learned in the section diagnostic, and what is required to successfully complete the culminating task. As their understanding of the unit's content and their skills mature, students might refine what they have previously noted in the culminating task progress tracker. The teacher also wants to make sure that students receive feedback on their section diagnostic performance as soon as possible. As students' responses are reviewed, the teacher should consider how students performed as a group. This will be great work to do during the CBPL using the Looking at Student Work protocol. If the whole class has struggled in a particular area, the teacher might conduct a brief mini lesson or model the use of one of the tools with the entire class. There is an optional lesson at the end of the section that provides students the opportunity to revise their section diagnostic response based on teacher feedback. The evaluation plan also highlights other upcoming lessons and activities that provide students with opportunities for continued or expanded practice. In the final activity of this lesson, students read and annotate the first 3 parts of Chapter 11 in Friday Night Lights, paying attention to how Bissinger describes the actions of the citizens of Odessa and Midland during the oil boom and bust of the 1980s, and how he uses this description to reflect their values. They also add new or interesting words in their vocabulary journals and write down sentences that stand out to them as interesting or that represent a strong example of a particular concept they have learned in their mentor sentence journal. So, RCUB is students will know how Bissinger portrays the impact of gender on the students and athletic culture of Permian High School. They'll understand how Bissinger's perspective on gender compares to those of the authors of the other section texts, and they will be able to demonstrate analysis of gender in high school athletics and Friday Night Lights, Isaacson's video, and Papano and McDonough's article by writing a response using the section diagnostic checklist and culminating task progress tracker. Right, that is a wrap for this video. I welcome your feedback and look forward to hearing from you either on Twitter, via email, or in the comments. While you're here, don't forget to subscribe so you never have to worry about missing a video. Thanks for watching.